Right now, someone just like you is investing one specific amount every single month. In exactly 10 years, they'll walk into their boss's office and quit. Not because they hate their job, but because they don't need the paycheck anymore. The amount? It's lower than you fear, but higher than you hope. And I'm about to show you the exact number. But first, you need to understand why this feels impossible. We've been programmed to believe retirement takes 40 years of grinding and praying the market cooperates. That's by design. Because the moment you realize you can calculate your way to freedom in one decade, everything changes. You stop being predictable. You start making decisions based on your timeline, not theirs. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the exact math, the 3 levers that make this possible, and the specific monthly number that separates dreamers from people who actually escape. No fluff, just the raw truth about buying back your life in 10 years. Let's start with the lie you've been sold. For generations, the story's been the same. Work 40 years, save in your 401k, and retire at 65 when your knees hurt and adventure feels like a distant memory. That's not a retirement plan. That's a ransom note. Here's the question nobody asks. Who benefits from you working until 65? You or the system that needs your labor and taxes as long as possible? What if retirement isn't about age? It's just math. What if the only thing between you and freedom is a number you can calculate today? Imagine you write out your monthly expenses tonight. Rent, groceries, utilities, car, insurance, subscriptions. Say it's $3,500 monthly, $42,000 yearly. If you could build a money machine generating $3,500 every month without you working, you'd be retired. Not Lamborghini rich, but time rich, freedom rich. I don't need permission for vacation rich. A common guideline suggests that to achieve this, you need to save 25 times your anticipated annual expenses. That's the goal, and it's more achievable than you think. Here's where it gets interesting. The secret weapon isn't working harder. It's not grinding 80-hour weeks. It's something called compounding, and it's the closest thing to magic that exists in finance. Let me explain it like this. Imagine you plant an apple tree. Year 1, nothing. Just a sad little stick in the ground. You water it, protect it, and honestly, it feels like a waste of time. Year 2, maybe one tiny apple. You're thinking, this is stupid. I could have just bought apples at the store. But then year 5 hits. Suddenly, branches everywhere. Dozens of apples. By year 7, you're giving apples to your neighbors. And by year 10, you've got a full-grown tree producing hundreds of apples every single year, and you're barely doing anything. That's compounding. The early years feel painfully slow, but the later years? Explosive! This is exactly where most people quit. They invest for 2 years, see their account grow by a few $1,000, and think, this isn't working. So they cash out and buy a jet ski. But the people who push through those boring early years, they're the ones who wake up one day and realize the tree is feeding them for life. Now, here's the kicker. If you want to retire in 10 years, you don't have 30 years to wait for the tree to grow. You need to water it aggressively. You need to plant multiple trees. You need to use the best soil, the best fertilizer, and protect it like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Let's continue with the numbers nobody shows you. Most finance videos show pretty charts with 8% returns and say, invest consistently. But that's a recipe without mentioning you need an oven. Here's what they hide. Inflation eats your money. Taxes take a bite. Fees nibble the edges. That 8% return can quickly become 4% in real terms when you account for historical inflation and advisory fees. Invest $2,000 monthly for 10 years at 8%, you'd have $370,000. But adjust for 3% inflation, and your real buying power is closer to $285,000. Good, but not retire forever money unless you live lean. You need to see real returns.
after inflation, taxes, and fees. That's the money you'll actually live on. The magic number. Let's do the math. To generate $3,500 in monthly passive income, that's $42,000 yearly. Using the classic 4% withdrawal rule, you'd need about $1,050,000 saved. Sounds like Everest, right? But stay with me. Investing consistently into a diversified portfolio earning 7% real returns, here's what you need monthly: $6,200. Before you close this, there are 3 levers that make this realistic. Lever number 1, lower your expenses. If you don't need $3,500 a month but can live comfortably on $2,500, your target portfolio drops to $750,000. Now you only need to invest about $4,400 per month. Still high, but way more doable. If you go even leaner and can live on $2,000 a month, maybe you move somewhere with a lower cost of living. Maybe you pay off your house. Maybe you cut subscriptions you don't use. Your target drops to $600,000. Now you're looking at investing around $3,500 per month. Suddenly, we're in the range where a dual-income household or someone with a solid middle-class job can actually play this game. Lever number 2, increase your income. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. If you're making $50,000 a year, retiring in 10 years is nearly impossible. But if you can grow your income to $80,000, $100,000, or even $150,000 over the next decade, everything changes. And I'm not talking about waiting for your boss to give you a 3% raise. I'm talking about switching jobs, learning high-income skills like copywriting or AI prompt engineering, starting a side hustle, freelancing, building something online. The internet has made it easier than ever to add an extra $1,000, $2,000, even $5,000 a month if you're willing to put in the work. And here's the beautiful part. Every extra dollar you earn and invest compounds just like the rest. It's multiplication. Lever number 3, optimize your returns. Not all investments are created equal.
If you're putting your money in a savings account earning 2%, you're losing to inflation. If you're in a diversified index fund earning 10% before inflation, you're winning. Real estate, dividend stocks, index funds, even starting an online business, these are the vehicles that can get you to 7% to 10% real returns. And that difference between 4% and 8% over 10 years, it's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. The real answer, here it is. To retire in 10 years with a modest lifestyle, invest between $3,000 and $4,500 monthly, consistently, into a portfolio earning 7% after inflation. That's the truth. Not 500, not 1,000. The 10-year timeline has a price. But the reward? Absolute freedom. And here's what people miss. You don't do this alone. With a partner, you split it. Increase income by $20,000, it gets easier. Lower expenses by $500 monthly, the target shrinks. This isn't about perfection, it's about intention. The final truth, 10 years from now, you'll be 10 years older regardless. The only question is, will you be free or still grinding? People who make it aren't smarter or luckier. They just started. They built the system. They set up automated investments through their 401k or automatic transfers to an IRA. They didn't quit when it got hard. Will you be one of them? Drop a comment, smash that like button, and let's build your freedom. Subscribe for more real money talk. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is education, not advice. Your results depend on your decisions.